Alrighty, fellas, good morning. Yo, what's up? My name's Patrouski. Welcome to your daily PokeMMO stream recap. This is stream recap 499, which means stream recap 500 is probably going to be on Thursday. I'm probably going to call tomorrow. I'm cheating. He's cheating in live time. I'm probably going to call tomorrow, stream recap 499.5, and then have it be like a small stream with just like the catch event and like maybe a gym rerun or something like that, because I want to plan a little bit more and I want to have something. I think I have some stuff, but I don't have everything ironed out for stream recap 500, which should be on Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. So if you want to have, I think, a shuntathon, a big shuntathon with certain prizes and things like that is going to happen on Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. So if you're interested in a big shuntathon in Pokemon where you can shiny hunt at the same spot that I'm at, win some prizes, and maybe extend the stream through things like that, that'll be on Thursday at 12 p.m. ET. Okay, so with that out of the way, good morning. Hope you're enjoying PokeMMO. This is your daily stream recap, your daily source of PokeMMO tips, tricks, information, daily events, everything happening in the game. The screenshot competition is coming to an end, okay? It ends on the 22nd, which is, if you're watching the recap today, but I think it's at least at like midnight. It's at like midnight on the 22nd, which means you have until, so you have today to get an entry in. Make sure you get an entry in. And also, make sure, if you're doing the screenshot competition, head over to your settings and go to gameplay and go to show own overworld name and make sure that that is clicked on. I had to do that for myself. That was clicked off for me personally. And you need to have your IGN showing in the game to be able to actually submit your entry properly. So make sure you have that setting turned on if you're doing your screenshot competition. All right, I'm not going to cover too many. We cover this a fair bit. I'm not going to go into crazy details, but they're all in the forums if you're interested. There is a shiny Ditto up for grabs and 1,000 RP up for grabs as well. Next up, there is a catch event today. So if you're watching the recap, you're a little bit too late. We're going to skip through it quickly. There was a weird thing with it though. It happens in about 34 minutes. We weren't sure. I thought wait, is it still? Wait. I'm gonna hit F5 and watch this change. So do you see how this says gift shiny Baneri, but then the sprite isn't shiny? I assumed the sprite was the mistake and it was a shiny Baneri. Look, they changed it. I assumed it was the sprite was the problem, but nope. It is a non-shiny Baneri, unfortunately, so it has been changed, has been adjusted. Now, as an Ironman account, I just care about the 1,000 RP. So honestly, I'm hoping people don't show up and I can have a better chance at RP, but we will see how that goes. Okay, that's today's event. And then finally on the 22nd, so that's today for watching the recap, the 22nd at 2 p.m. ET at Mount Pyre in Hoenn. There's a catch event with Duskull and Shuppet, +3 for Duskull, -3 for Shuppet. Nature bonuses on screen, as you can see right now. And there is a shiny Duskull up for grabs. Beautiful shiny Pokemon, good utility Pokemon, good PvP Pokemon, can be used in so many different ways. Next up, a Chansey catch event on Friday the 24th of April at 2 p.m. ET over at Route 47 in Johto. You have 1 hour to catch Chansey, Ditto, Miltank, and Raticates for these species bonuses on screen. If you don't know how catch events work, I have multiple different videos on my channel. One's called like how to enter catch events and how to submit your entry, and then one is like how to prepare for catch events and increase your chance of winning. Check those out if you don't know what they are, you're interested in learning more. Nature bonuses are on screen now for a quick set, and there is a non-shiny Chansey. So a few non-shiny catch events, unfortunately, but it is what it is. They can't give away crazy shinies all the time. That would, you can't open a Pokemon pack of trading cards and hit the EX every time. That ruins the whole point. You've got to have some non-shiny prizes and some RP prizes up for grabs as the main attraction. So there's this Chansey catch event coming up once again on the Friday, April 24th. Now on to the daily market check, one of my favorite new segments in these little stream recaps, and it's a way to show players, all types of players, new players, old players, the history of certain items and how they affected the economy. This is the White Rabbit plush, the first ever vanity that started the cute little guy on head archetype is what I call it. Okay, there is the White Rabbit plush, there's the Froggy, there's like the penguin, right? There's a ton of cute little guys that sit on your head and look cute while you flop around in PokeMMO. Okay, the White Rabbit plush is the first one to ever exist of this vanity variety. And it's also very important because this came out in 2023 during the Lunar New Year event. We've already covered a few items that came out during this event and why this event was so revolutionary for PokeMMO. The 2023 Lunar New Year event was the first ever event, or first ever time in PokeMMO where a permanently ownable, mythical, or legendary Pokemon was added to the game. It is when Shaman got added, and everybody was so obsessed with Shaman. They were so distracted by Shaman, myself included, that we forgot about vanities and sealed product and other things happening at that time. The green Unity and the red Unity cape, right? The White Rabbit plush, when it came out, dropped as far down as about 12 million Pokeyen. There was 16 of them in the market. It got down to around 12 to like, yeah, 12 million. 12 million Pokeyen was the lowest we ever saw it get. And then the event ended. I'll never forget this. I remember this rise. The event ended and it rose to 35 mil. We had not seen a vanity rise to 35 mil like that in a very long time. This is the first vanity to do that in an extremely long time. And then it stayed around 30, you know, went down a little bit, 30 mil, but then went back up to like 35 and 40. It peaked to like 47 mil around here. So now this is a full year later in 2024, and it's still around the same-ish price tag, 30 anywhere from like, look at all the fluctuations as well. It's crazy, like 30 to 45 mil, right? That's a 15 mil difference that this vanity was like pretty consistently fluctuating between, and then it steadied out at 40 mil for about a full year. From maybe like half a year. This is still like 40 mil, like 38 mil. This is, yeah, March 2024. From March 2024 until February 2025, it stabilized at about 40 million Pokeyen. And then it went to the moon, boys. Something, I don't know if it was just the Lunar New Year event of 2025, but White Rabbit plush demand went crazy. Went up to 75 million. You could have bought this for 12 million. It's 7 times in price. 700% in price, dude. If you theoretically, you know, it's unlikely this happened to anybody, or very, very, very few people. If you theoretically bought, you know, 3 of these, right? At the all-time this is like best case scenario, right? So let's qualify that. But best case scenario, you bought 3 of these for 12 million a piece. You spent 36 million Pokeyen, and then you sold 3 of them for, let's say, 75 million. You know, once again, this is literally like hindsight, buy at the lowest, sell at the highest. This like does not happen in true markets, right? But let's just say, right, you would have spent 36 million Pokeyen and sold for 225, and you're only buying 3 of the item. If we subtract the actual cost, right, that leaves us with, I'm terrible at math, but even I can do this one, 189, almost 200 million Pokeyen profit. Almost 200 million Pokeyen profit. Now, since this, the White Rabbit plush has dropped down in price, and I think it's because we got a lot more cute guy on head, and there is more competition, but this is still the OG, and a lot of people still really like this one, and I think the little cute red dotted eyes really add a lot of appeal to it, in my opinion. Currently, the White Rabbit plush is going for about 56, 57 million Pokeyen, and there's only, what's really interesting, see that bottom blue graph, but you know, at the very bottom, right? There's only about, what, 1 to 7? The max I saw was like 7 white, 8. There are so few in the market at a time. Like, this is crazy. 8 is the highest I saw. I still have not seen higher than 8. Is this higher? Okay. The last time we saw more than 8 White Rabbit plushes on the market was back in October of 2024, I think. That's insane. Yep, October of 2024. It's a classic vanity in PokeMMO, a huge one that's affected the economy. Super cool to cover its history, and it really, once again, it's crazy how much Shaman impacted things so freaking much, dude. All right, let's go ahead, dude. Much love to you. Hopefully you heal up well. I'm sorry to hear that, Kieran. God damn, dude. Much love to you, dude. All right, let's go ahead and jump into the achievement showcase. If you want to be possibly, I don't get to everybody, but possibly featured in the achievement showcase, you can check out my Discord channel called the Achievement Showcase in my Discord, right? So check that out if you're interested. Let's go ahead and let's get started, boys. This is a big one. I'm gonna cover my face. This is important. Actual X Gamer. This might be a little bit of a rant, but it's also a big achievement, and it finally happened. On October of 2025, I set out on an adventure to capture my girlfriend's favorite Pokemon shiny. I'm like doing some fucking fist bumping out right now. You can't see it. I love stories like this. This is what MMOs and video games are all about. And shiny hunting is all about, is like shunting something for a, it's like almost like getting a tattoo because you care about, you have some, not that you have to, right? But you take a picture, you have some like emotional attachment, or it means something. I love when people make shiny hunting about that, right? It took way longer than I expected. Once I phased with a Bellsprout at 42,000 encounters, I was very bummed, as it was a random encounter whilst hopping from the water into a grass patch. I was devastated, but nonetheless, I was determined to get that shiny. Once I hit 30,000 encounters again, I was like, okay, now it can happen at any moment, and I excitedly awaited for it to never come. Another 30,000 encounters passed, and it wasn't looking good in my opinion. I was already at 60,000 encounters, but still, I was determined. He also went 42K drive before this, right? At this point, I was grinding hard for it, even through the Lunar New Year event, prioritizing the shiny hunting over making money during the event. Well, another 30,000 encounters passed, and I was losing it, questioning while I was still going. I saw all these other people getting shinies way below 30,000. It was not good for my mental state. I was at 90K, and I still hadn't seen the shiny that I wanted. I tried and I tried my best to keep going, and when I had 105,000 encounters, I was totally through it. I actually stopped playing for about 1 to 2 weeks, because I did not see the point in playing anymore. But eventually, I started playing again. And today, while watching YouTube, it finally happened. At 108,000 encounters, it finally popped with a grand total of 110,625 species encounters for the Lickitung. I could not be happier to finally get the shiny for my girlfriend that I set out to get a little less than 6 months ago. Thank you for reading. Dude, this makes, like, there's so much. This guy's a writer, man. Like, there's so much genuine emotion and earnest, beautiful feelings through this story. Going 100K dry is fucking hard. It's one of those things, like, a lot of people, we just brush over it. It is, especially for the, like, it's so intense, man. It's so hard. I'm so glad you pulled through, gamer. Congratulations, man. And it's going to be such a more beloved and more, like, such a remembered shiny because it was so hard to get from this point forward. So congratulations, man. It's a really beautiful shunting story, in my opinion. All right, next up. An Iron Man got his Meowth today, man. He got a good Meowth. It's 31 attack, naughty nature, 28 speed. He EV trained it. I'm a little worried. He still needs to XP train it, and that has me a little stressed for him. I hope that in the next few days we don't see a new achievement showcase update, like, oh yeah, whoops, I accidentally evolved it. That would suck. Hope that doesn't happen. Good luck to you, Iron Chip. We've all been there. I've actually evolved many Meowths, unfortunately. It's the worst. Next up, this guy used a funny phrase, which I just loved. First OT Max Litwick. First time breeding. All ancestors caught OT. First OT. Bro is OT maxing. What the fuck? I think he just means, like, he caught all the breeders. It's like an Iron Man or whatever type thing. But I thought it was so funny. The verbiage of OT maxing was very funny to me. Bro is out here OT maxing. And this is also really tough to do. This is a really cool achievement. Catching all the breeders for a 6x31 plus its correct nature with a modest. It's also doing this kind of long, intense breed for your first time breeding. Dude, super brave. Glad you completed it. Congratulations, dude. That takes a long time, man. Next up, Rumel, one of the OGs in my community, got his first rare shiny in PokeMMO at 6,000 encounters from a swarm. He got a swarm Heracross during Team Mr. Shiny War. I remember hearing about this, and I was like DMing him, like, no way, dude, and responding in the Discord. This was fucking sick, and so I love Shiny Heracross. Is such a good one to get, man. Congratulations to your Rumel. It's just beautiful to see. So deserved. So freaking deserved, dude, you know? And then Kid3 got their 6th egg shiny on their account. They actually just featured them in an achievement showcase recently. What I love about Kid3 is that they record and they upload their reactions. I love, even if you're like not some big YouTuber, I think every person who shiny hunts in PokeMMO, I encourage you, record and upload your reactions. It is such a beautiful building exercise for the community. Number one, it logs it for you. You have the history now for the rest of your life. Number two, it inspires others. When I was first starting PokeMMO content creation back in like 2021, and I was first getting into shiny hunting, you know, that once again, I took a long break, right? I would watch other people's shiny hunting montages. There were very few that existed, but the ones that did, who am I thinking of? There was a guy, it's like shiny hunter Rod. That's a little bit of a deep pull for those who know. Shiny hunter Rod, I would watch his, like, he also had no mic. It was just the montages of him hunting shinies, and that inspired me. Like that, watching others get their shinies, watching others react, achieve their dreams, and hunt for as long as they do, it makes you remember and realize you can do it too. It's really beautiful. So thank you for recording at Kid3. It's a very wholesome reaction if you want to go watch it on their YouTube channel. Next up, Shiny Porygon. I can't remember if I already covered this, so my apologies if I did, but I love Shiny Porygon. So you know what, if I already covered this, we'll cover it twice, dude. I'm a little behind on there's a lot of achievement showcase stuff. So Poppins, I'm gonna call them Poppins, 6,000 to 7,000 or so egg encounters. 10 to 20% were alpha eggs. That's fucking expensive. And the rest are Safari encounters. He went 23,000 encounters total dry and got himself a Shiny Porygon. Dude, I love Shiny Porygon. One of my favorite eggs, honestly. Insane. Excuse me. Insane turbo. Congratulations, dude. And that is the final achievement showcase. So now we can actually go in and jumping into getting actually playing the game. We have a catch event to do today, as well as I want to make my final submission for the screenshot competition, and I'll probably throw some clips. Like, this was a spot that I was actually looking at. I'm planning to do some sort of like Iron Man pirate theme, because I think it's the best. I think based on the vanities I have, I think this is the best fit that I have. I think that this is the best drip I can use as an Iron Man account. I'm at a disadvantage, but if I can just place top 3 or so, that would be huge. I'm at a disadvantage on vanities, but hopefully you would think that after 11,000 hours, I would be at an advantage of gameplay knowledge and knowing where to go location-wise in game. But we'll see how that plays out. We'll see how much I can actually, if I can actually remember spots. So I'll see you guys with more questions from chat and more PokeMMO discussion. Here, I'm just a turbo nerd who loves talking about this. I was talking about how, like, I went for my first shiny in PokeMMO, I went around an estimated 300k dry. Take that number with a grain of salt. It was back before encounter counters existed. I used to use a notepad document to actually track my encounters. I was much younger. But the numbers that I do have for sure, like, these are for sure locked in numbers. It took me 2,200 hours and 8 years to get my first shiny in PokeMMO. This is an old story, but if you happen to not know, my first shiny in PokeMMO was extremely dry, right? My second shiny was my favorite Pokemon of all time, Shiny Shuckle, in the Safari Zone at 106 encounters. So that's why the term Patrouski luck exists, where I either get extremely unlucky or extremely lucky. Although we haven't seen that a whole lot on I've just been lucky on the Ironman account, KEKW, over the past, few months. But someone mentioned, it's interesting, we see so many new players getting their first shiny at 3,000 encounters, and this is not just a PokeMMO phenomena. It is a like MMO, or like I would say video game phenomena. There's probably some like real life rule to this as well. The reason why we see so many new players, or seemingly get so many new players get like crazy shinies at low odds in PokeMMO, is because if you zoom out and you think about it from a mass scale, right? If 30,000 people start playing PokeMMO and they all get one encounter, odds are one of those people is going to get a shiny on their first encounter, right? That's just math, right? The broad math, right? And then the other thing is, there's a lot of people who play PokeMMO might get to 5,000 encounters, right? That's probably going to happen for most people when doing their 5 storylines. But how many players stick with the game long enough to get to 60, 80, 100k, 200k? Like, the reason we don't see a whole lot of new players going dry on their first shiny hunt is because they quit the game before they ever, and that's a case in every video game. If you go super unlucky, it's tough to pull through, right? This is a video game phenomenon you see. So you end up seeing a lot of new players like getting super lucky stuff. And there was 10 years ago, people thought that like PokeMMO was being favorable to new players, and I saw this exact same argument in other like RuneScape and like other video games, which is really funny. A lot of people start to get angry, like, oh, new players have better luck, and it's like, well, no, it's just, from my understanding, I'm not properly educated, but from my understanding, it's just statistics, it's just data, right? More people will get to the low counts, but not as many people will get to the high counts, so we don't see as the crazy stuff. And it's just at mass scale, when you really think about it, it makes sense that crazy stuff happens, I guess, is kind of the thing. But it makes it feel like new players are getting luckier, but it's really just, we see that more because more people are going to get to 3,000, 5,000 encounters. A lot of people aren't going to reach 100k dry and not quit, right? So that's my understanding and my conclusion I've come to. Yeah, someone said they're 44k dry on their first shunt. Good luck to you, dude. Yeah, Altaria brings up a great point that I meant to mention as well. The other thing is, when you hear a new player go dry, you don't really hear about it. Like, if a new player goes 30,000 encounters for a shiny, they're not going to talk about it. That's just at rate, right? Like, if a new player goes at rate, you don't hear about it. If someone gets a shiny in their first 1,000 encounters, you're going to hear about it. Like, that's insane, So you just hear a lot about the viral things go viral because they're crazy, they're viral, right? So it kind of builds that, like, something like a social media delusion type thing, I guess. It's good to statistically and like logically check that, right? Whoa, someone said someone is dumping Shalphas, and I was like, what are you talking about? To be fair, it seems like they're mostly flexing them. This person put up 2 different Shalphas for 2 billion. This is a wild one. Wow, Master Bald. This was bred, I assume. This person is just flexing them. When they list for like 2 bill like that, they're just flexing them. This one was 18 minutes ago. This is wild caught. Dude, it is crazy. 651 encounters. People are nuts, man. What? It's enough to break your brain. Oh my goodness. Here, let's do the, yeah. Any more? Not a whole lot. I'm not seeing a whole lot of Shalpha dumping, but it's beautiful to go check. I don't check Shalphas enough on the GTL. It is a really cool thing to go see, man. Something I'll probably never see in my PokeMMO career. You know, like, that's nuts. What do you think about collecting in PokeMMO? Lots of people do it. Dude, I think collecting in PokeMMO is sick as fuck. Obviously, I think it's super underrated. I think it wouldn't surprise me if honestly the game, and shout out to Epoch for like promoting so much like collecting and like how cool it is and carrying out the history of the game, all that stuff. I think he does really fucking cool videos around that, man. Probably some of the best, right? If not the best, right? On collecting in PokeMMO, he does really cool shit. Epoch. So I think collecting in PokeMMO is still underrated, honestly. I think it's still underrated. I think the game might move more and more towards that as people the biggest thing people need to ask themselves in PokeMMO is, what do I want to do? They need to have goals, right? So I think a big thing is I think collections are great goals, and figuring out what you want to collect. You brought up, yeah, Pokedex stuff, weird glitched Pokemon, high wild caught IV Pokemon. I love old Pokemon. I haven't really mentioned it a whole lot, but I do collect old Pokemon, my 2012s and 2013s, even some 2014s, especially if they're competitive Pokemon. I love collecting old Pokemon, and I have a pretty big collection of old Pokemon stored on an alt account. Also, it's crazy. Look at this. I didn't realize that 2012s have kind of gone up in price, the base ones, up to 175k. That might be a lack of them just being on the market, to be fair, so don't take that as like a permanent rise. But 2012, man, PokeMMO was only so few people played in 2012. I didn't play in 2012, you know. I started playing in 2013. That looked shiny for a sec, but it was like there's just like the eyes closed because it's sleeping, so sorry, distracted me. Another big thing when it comes to collecting old Pokemon, like 2012 and 2013, players like myself who played actively in 2013, I will look for OTs of people that I like remember, like old friends. And that's one of the coolest things. Or like really recognizable players, or like, you know, famous players in certain ways, right? We're looking for like competitive Pokemon. There are so many caveats to just collecting 2012, 2013, you know, old Mons, and having that personal connection. Or even, but I've seen so many new players like Epoch. I don't think Epoch played back in like that era, but new people and new players in hobbies can learn to appreciate the old stuff. I'm that way with Magic the Gathering. I started playing Magic and Theros back in like 2011, 2013, and I love old Magic stuff because it's still, you appreciate the game for what it is now, and then you want to like learn where it came from, and like you start to appreciate it to a deeper level. I think that happens in retro video games. Like I've seen so many, how many people do you know? I've seen so many people who are really young who prefer playing like Smash Melee, you know, or like love to collect for like the PS1 when they might have been born like post the PS1 being out. I think I was born post the PS1 being out, to be fair. PS1 release date was it 1994, 1996? Yeah, to be fair, the PS1 came out in 1995. I was born in 1998. So even I'm younger than the PS1, right? So like it's easy. Like I think new people coming into hobbies do learn to appreciate the old stuff, if that makes sense. Yeah, speaking of collecting, thank you to L Tryhard linked this to me, and he gave me a hint. So I'm gonna check particles. I couldn't figure out what the glitch or bug on this was, but it's because every single Alpha Magikarp or Gyarados stems from the Lunar New Year event, right? So what that means is this should have the spring particle effect. This should have the spring flower pen or whatever. Every single Gyarados, there's no way to like take a particle effect off. So this is bugged. It should have been. Let's see if I can find here. Can I do no particles? See if I can find one. So here, wow, here's an equivalent. Here's a Alpha Gyarados glitched with no particle effect, selling for 50 million Pokeyen. That's crazy. I don't know if it's actually, you know, will it actually sell for that? I don't know. but there is demand, there is interest in these like weird niche glitched Pokemon. You know, it's cool for collectors. Alrighty, fellas, catch event results are here for the, what was it, Baniri, Buidu, and Beautifly event. In 4th place, Gnome Kind got 21 points. Congratulations, winning some reward points. In 3rd place with 169 points, Isoli, congratulations on 3rd place, winning some free reward points. In 2nd place, Strato, oh goodness, 169 points. Congratulations, man, winning some RP. And then finally winning the 6x31 low punny and even more RP is Arcaders. That name is a little familiar. Arcaders with 170 points, man. Congratulations, dude. Congrats to everybody who participated. Hopefully you got some good catches, and I hope to see you in future PokeMMO catch events. I really cannot recommend to do events like this enough, man. I think they're so fun, so good for the community, and I can hear my dog ripping apart a trash can, so I'm gonna go stop him. Give me one sec. Alrighty, fellas, probably the funniest reason I've ever had to end a stream. The dog that I'm pet sitting has the zoomies. I gotta go be a proper pet sitter, go take care of him. He's trying to eat Amazon packages, he's eating shoes, he's eating socks. I gotta take him on a long walk and burn off some energy like he deserves to do. He's a very cute boy. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the stream. It was a wacky one today. Lots of crashes, lots of weird stuff happening. But you know what? We did it. We did a catch event. We made progress. I still have to submit an entry for the screenshot competition. I'll probably do that off stream today, hopefully. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. Like the video if you enjoyed it. Dislike if not. Subscribe if you want to. Twitch, follow, whatever you want to do. Have a great day. Play PokeMMO. Have fun. That's the important thing. I will see you guys later. Peace, Reno. Yo, what's up? Outro Patrouski here, and I wanted to say thank you so much to everybody's name who is on this list. You really allow me to make the content that I do every single day, and I hope I can make it worth your guys' while and add to your PokeMMO journey. Thanks again so much for watching the entire video, and have a great day.